Sorry, Scott, I've got to unmute.
No, it's good.
I'm too old for this. Can I get the team news, please?
Team news. Cabano out still, hopefully to come back to train maybe before Monday. Anderson trained for the first time today, albeit probably a more modified session. So we'll see how he goes in the coming days in terms of that. Regarding everyone else, really, we are where we are. Congola still getting up to speed, been out for some time, so obviously getting up to speed. So other than that, we are where we are, really.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but is that a bit faster than you had feared for Anderson?
Yeah, he's progressed really well, to be honest with you. Yes, he's progressed very, very well. I think initially when he first did it, we was a little bit concerned after getting scanned and seeing the diagnosis of the problem. I think we was obviously more optimistic, but certainly he has progressed well, and that's credit to obviously the medical team and obviously himself, because he's put himself in a position. So, like I said, we'll see where we are come Monday and how he progresses over the next coming days, and we'll make a call then.
Always remind me for cliche. I'm not going to say this is a must-win game, but it's a massive game, isn't it?
Big game, yeah, of course. I mean, look, every game for us is a big game, and certainly this game's probably one of them. Exactly what you're on about, the competition, or where we both are in the league. And I think Slavan will be the same this year in terms of where he sees his team this year, and where he's going to be in and about it is probably where we are. So I mean, this is two teams what are. This is a real big game for both of us, because you want to try and take some points off of each other, really. So yeah, of course. I think every game's massive, and it's going to be massive for us this year. But I think you're right in saying this game's got a little bit extra on
it. It's too early in the season to use that term by use, though, isn't it? It's still very, in terms of points, it's still not a big gap between you and the middle of the table.
Sorry, Gak, can you say that again? Because I missed it.
So yeah, it's too early in the season for it to be, that kind of must-win game, isn't it, really?
Well, I think it is. I think obviously we are only 6 games in it, but in saying that, at the same time, it's a big game for us. We sit on 1 point, West Brom sit on 2, I think it is, and the other teams are in and around it down there. Of course, this is a huge game for us, but like I said, I don't think we'll lose sight that next week after that against West Ham, the week after that Leicester, Man City, they're all going to be big, and they're going to be big for us, and we understand that. So still early stages, of course, and I still see big improvements. I still see us moving in the right direction, but at the same time, I don't want to hide the fact that this is a big
game. Scoring first, at the point you've picked up so far this season, you scored first. It's quite a rarity for you these days to score first. Is that something that you and the boys are aware of?
Yeah, it's something we're aware of. We was aware of that last year as well. It's something we're very conscious of. Scoring first is key. Certainly last year it was massive, and in this division even more so. When you're a team like us, obviously scoring first and giving you something to hang on to, certainly in terms of more of a mentality side of it, and a real something to hold on to is key. And I think we all realise that scoring the first goal in this division is massive, and history tells us that with this team, and it is something we're working on psychologically. But certainly, we're in the top league now, and last year scoring first and being able to maybe score 2-3 goals to still win a game was a lot easier than it is this year, and we understand that, of course, and that's where we need to be a bit solid. Understand we need to try and maybe win games by the odd goal, and try and keep a clean sheet. But these are all things that we're constantly working on. We're constantly, as a group of players, understanding as well. And like I said, last year was a game you go 1-0 down, you've maybe got the capabilities to obviously go and score 2 or 3. This year, it's a different league, so you obviously can see that.
So you've had a summer transfer window. West Brom clearly a different prospect to last season, but how different do you think?
Yeah, look, I think a couple of front half players, one being one what was there last year, and I think we all see his quality. A fantastic player in Dean Garner, boy Grant, added some experience as well along the way. So yeah, look, definitely an improved team. But you know, I think it's got the makings of a very good game, really. And while we've improved as well, you know, I feel that we have improved. You know, I do sense that this game will be a very tight and a very good one.
Good luck, Scott. Thank you.
Cheers, Gary. Thank you.
Thanks, Gary. If we could stay with broadcast, Jonathan over in Premier League Productions, please.
Yeah, hi Scott. From what you've seen from your side in the first 6 games, what would you say has given you the most concern, and conversely, what has given you any optimism you may have that the points will come?
I say concerns. It's just more an understanding of where we are, really. And you know, at this present moment in time, you know, you see the errors at times and the mistakes and how ruthless this league is, and certainly that's an ongoing from my behalf and the team. You need to be brave in these situations, and what I mean by brave is brave that you accept certain negatives and certain deficiencies in your game where you need to improve, and you need to be brave to stand up and realise that, and put your hand up and come in on a Monday and a Tuesday, Wednesday and train and work it and keep trying to improve that. The positives, I see a clear identity about my team. I think the first 6 games, to be honest with you, there's been a lot of bright things, a lot of good things, a lot of things I've been really impressed with. I see a real team with a real identity, a real clarity about them, and understanding. Of course, like I go back to that, there is elements of improving. But like anything, I often say, you know, there's no magic formula, and there's processes in place, and then stick to the process and keep trying to improve. Big step for us last year, coming out of the league, 4th in the Championship, and within a quick turnaround, we're now in the big league with the big boys. And at times, we've been punished for that. But in saying that, like I say, there's a lot of things that I've been really pleased with, and I do sense a group here what are relentless in the work, are relentless in trying to improve, are relentless in trying to win games and get points on the board. And while you've got that in any walk of life, you've got a chance. The day you don't have that will be the first time I'll be putting my hand up and saying, this is, yeah. But at this present moment in time, and I'm no doubt it will be for the remainder of this season, this group of players will come in and we'll keep working and we'll keep pushing, we'll keep trying to put our stamp on games and try and pick up as many points as we can.
You said before the first match that it would be a vitally important season for Mitrovic. I think that's what you said. Obviously, he's been heavily marked, 2 against 1 in many occasions. But what are you trying to achieve in terms of the link-up play, Scott, to play to his strengths and get more from your players in forward areas?
Well, I think we're probably playing to his strengths. I think if you look at the stats, I think we're the number 1 in the league for crosses from open play. So in the sense of getting the ball in the box, I think we're certainly doing that. Of course, like anything, and the same with Alex and the same with a lot of our players, what you could get away with last year, you may no longer can get away this year. And again, that's learning, that's Alex understanding it, that's us working, okay, you need to maybe make this run, or this run what you did use last year is no longer, seems to be marked better, or whatever that may be. The quality of the cross, of course, these are all elements exactly that, and exactly what I'm talking about. And these are all processes what you need to keep drilling, and you need to keep going. And it's the next step up for Mitra. It's the next step up for a large part of this team. You know, we've brought in 11 players into this team. I think it is roughly. We spent 10 million, 12 million pound in the summer, and we've brought in players what are, in terms of Premier League experience, there's not much in our squad in terms of that. So, you know, what I'm talking about is a reality, and that's exactly what we need to understand. We need to quickly learn and quickly pick up things, and top players, good players, what make that step up. What I have no doubt people like Mitrovic and the Kearneys and these sort of players, they do pick it up, and they're going to have to pick it up quick. because that's what, you know, if you want to be a Premier League football player and you want to be in this league for some time, then that's exactly what you need to do. You need to quickly learning games, learning it on a training pitch and become better. And like I said, I've no doubt I'll do that.
And just a final one on me, going back to Anderson. Clearly, it's good news for supporters to hear that he's close, but it'll be Monday, as you say. You'll assess in a couple of days' time. But are you confident that there's optimism for supporters then, that when he is fit, there will be a bit more familiarity, a bit more security at the back, if you like? I mean, you're crying out, aren't you, for some consistency in that area. Will he be the man to provide?
Yeah, we hope so. For sure, we hope so. That's why we brought him to the club again. Anderson is one of them players, like I speak about. He's not played in this division, not played in this league, but I've seen enough from what I've seen him playing at Sampdoria, what I've seen him playing at Lyon, to suggest that he can help us and he can improve us as a team, really. So yeah, I have no doubt about that. Again, is there going to be some bumps in the road for him? Yeah, I'm sure there will be, because this is new to him. This is a new league, the speed of it. But I have no doubt he also has the quality and the mindset and the mentality to pick things up very quickly and adjust and become a vital part of us.
Pascal, please.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jonathan. If we can carry on with broadcasts, we have a question from Per Atley at TV2 Norway, please.
Yeah. Hello, Scott. This is Per Karlsson from TV2 Norway.
Hi, Per.
Question about Stefan Johansson. Why did you choose to leave him out of your Premier League squad, and do you think you will be looking for a new club in January?
Well, the reason Steph didn't get in the squad, you know, obviously I was left with a very difficult decision to make. I had the squad was very big in numbers, and I had to make a decision which, like I said, was a difficult one, and just felt that that was the right way to go. And Steph understands that. Does it mean that Steph's no longer a part of this football club or hasn't got a future to play? No, definitely not. There's 9 weeks between now, or there was, it's probably less now than when I named the squad. 9 weeks between now and January, and Steph needs to get as fit as he can, train as hard as he can, and come January, hopefully make my decision a lot more difficult and maybe change that. So he's had a large part to play in our success over a long period of time at this club, in the sense of 2 promotions. So yeah, that's exactly where I see Steph at the moment.
If you could get lost, I know he's been struggling with back problems during his career. Is this something he's going to take care of now? Do you know if he's going for surgery or something like that?
No, he's definitely not going for surgery. There is a problem at the moment, but I don't see it as a big issue. There may be a chance at this present moment in time to really get on top of it. But yeah, I mean, as of surgery, I've not heard anything regarding that. That's not something that's come up. So I think that what we'll do now is, yeah, obviously try and get on top of a problem. He's got some time, so get on top of a problem, but I don't see it being a massive problem, to be honest with you, and I see him training soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Per. Thank you. We are now going to move over to the written section. So we will do separate Sundays and separate Mondays, but I'm going to allow a couple of questions for some dailies to tag on to the broadcast section. So I think, Peter, you wanted to go in this section here. Peter Wetzler.
Hi, Scott. How are you doing?
Hi, Peter. All good.
Just picking up on Gary's question actually about scoring first. How have you made of the team's reaction to that? And do you feel that the team almost has to find a different way to score goals in those situations?
Well, look, like anything, I think, you know, when you concede, you know, there is a constant driver and to have an attitude or adopt an attitude that says from 0 to 90 anything can happen in a football match, and a one goal can't demoralise a team. So certainly their ongoing improvements or things we talk about there were the same last year. To be quite honest with you, the difference, obviously the only difference is now is in the quality, and we understand that. And again, that means that you do need to try and keep the back door shut. You need to try and be solid, and you need to try and constantly giving yourself a base. But yeah, look, that probably don't just apply to us. I'm sure everyone's sitting in my position, and any manager out there who asked them that question, the first goal, and how key is it? I think we all realise how key that is. Certainly, I think you're right in saying that at them points, how much does that demoralise? How much does that take out of your team, and you lose that belief? Then I understand that, and that's something we're constantly banging home on. So yeah, I mean it's more about a mindset at them moments. It's more about an understanding. Okay, well, we've gone a goal down. It's not good. We're disappointed, but you know what? We've still got 30 minutes. We've still got 70 minutes. We've still got 5 minutes until that final whistle goes. Then anything can happen in a football match. And I know that sounds a bit cliche, but that's the truth and that's the reality. We need to adopt that attitude.
You mentioned about identity and previously, of course, about cementing foundations at Fulham, and the playing identity is a key part of that, I'm sure. And I was wondering, now that you're in the Premier League, have you yourself found a need almost to be more pragmatic, almost, or felt there's a tension where you need to almost a trade-off between the identity of how you want your team to play and then also the pressing need to get points? Have you felt that at all? Do you feel that at all?
No, not really. Not really. I've, of course, I have an understanding of getting points and understanding what's needed in games at any moment, and being flexible in them moments. But in the Premier League, or I was in the Championship last year, it was the same. Certain moments in games and the way the ebbs and flows of games decide that, and that's constant. That's training. That's training the team to understand certain moments. Last 5 minutes, you're one down. This is the situation we're going to play to. This is how we need to play. But ultimately, I think the foundations and the process and our game model and what it is will always stay the same. There are always improvements, of course. But I think overall, what I want my team to look like and how I want us to look like is not because I just want an identity. It's because I feel that that's the best way for us to play. That's the best way for this team to play, certainly, and for us to win games. And that's the most important thing I say there, is for us to win games. You don't play a certain way or play a certain style just because it's the right thing to do or it's the trendy thing to do. We do it because we train every day. We've trained now for the last 15 months, and we work and work and work and work to where we are today. So that's exactly what it is.
Just on Michael Hector, I know I asked on after the game on Saturday about him. You said he wasn't injured. But what is the sort of situation with him at the moment, and what does he need to do to get back into the squad?
He just needs to keep working hard. I think Heck will be the first to admit that the quick turnaround, he came in and he over the first course of the games when he started, he struggled a little bit, and this is what happens in football. This is exactly it. Dips in form, in people, performance, and the dipping at times. You need to realise where you are at that moment, and I need to make them decisions what's best for the team, and at times what's best for Hector as well. So he knows where he is at this moment in time. He needs to come in every day. He needs to keep working hard. He needs to keep improving, get as fit as he can, keep learning from the difference in the step up in league, because Hector's like most in this team that his Premier League football is the first time he's played in it really. So I think, like I said about many of the players, they need to quickly work out, okay, what can I get away with, what can't I get away with, what I did last year, what I've done for the majority of my career now I can't longer do. Well, you need to learn quick on that, and that's Heck. But listen, what's happened to Heck at the moment is going to be no different to what's going to happen to a lot of players, and what happens to loads of players in their careers, the majority of players. You have dips in form, you come out of the team. What determines how far you're going to go in your career and how good a player you're going to be is how you react to them moments. So difficult, and I'm sure Heck's not not pleased or not happy at the moment. But if there's one, if there's one thing he shouldn't be, is ultimately he should be not happy at himself first and foremost, and then from there, of course, keep working hard and trying to improve.
Thank you, Scott.
Cheers.
Just to complete this section before we do move to Sundays and then Mondays, last couple from Sonia Twig, Press Association, please.
Hello, Scott. Fulham had 64% of the possession against Crystal Palace, but were undone on the counter-attack. I was wondering if the fans could expect to see a change of approach for West Brom?
In terms of what? In terms of possession?
In terms, so to not get caught on the counter-attack.
But the problem you have is if you play against a team that just sit off the play, the only way they are going to score is from counter-attack. And if we want to try and score a goal, we need to probe and we need to push. And at times, their main game to their game is counter-attack. I understand that, but obviously you want to go and try and be progressive, and you need to try and score goals yourself. Yeah, of course, at times you are going to try and you are going to leave yourself open. Now we work on that, we drill it. We're prepared for that. But the dynamics of football matches and the quality you're coming up against at times here, that is pretty difficult. And only games determine how one team plays or one team doesn't. If you play against Crystal Palace, who are unbelievably drilled team, but obviously sit off it. They don't want the ball, and they want to bring teams onto them. That's the part of it. Well, we need to be progressive. We need to score goals, and we need to try and win the game as well. So I don't know whether come the weekend against West Brom you're going to see something different. I don't know if West Brom come and attack us and pin us back into shape, and all of a sudden there's 10 men under the ball. Then all of a sudden we may become a counter-attacking team. Well, that's what we're going to have to do, I'm sure, when we go to Man City this year. We go and play against Chelsea, Tottenham, Liverpool. We're going to be that team. We're going to be the team that sits off it and just plays in shape and tries to go on the counter-attack. But that's what Liverpool probably face most weeks, or the top teams. On the weekend, we faced that. I mean, the first goal, you could say was a counter-attack in the first phase. Definitely they got in behind us, but then from there, really from the second and third phase, from where the goal comes from, we're in decent shape. We get numbers behind the ball. Now it's to find details of following runners or dropping on the through ball and stuff like that. The second goal wasn't a counter-attack, so that's how I see that, really.
You also said Fulham were a young team and trying well. Have you seen progress in terms of that as the week's gone on? Obviously, it's difficult when you make so many new signings and have so many new faces.
Yeah, I see constant improvements. There was a lot of good things against Crystal Palace I see, and I have seen that in the game, some real positives. But I think you are right. There has been, like I said, I think it's 10, 11 new players have come into the building. A lot of young players. I think we've bought players here which have massive potential, big potential, but in saying that don't have a lot of Premier League experience. So this is constant improving, constant chipping away, trying to improve, trying to get better as individuals and as a team. And while disappointed that we've only got 1 point on the ball, bitterly disappointed, and none of us are happy about that. There's also elements which I am happy with, and feel like we're moving in the right direction, really.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sonia. Paul Warburton, I'll see your hand for this section. If you have a couple of questions before I move on to Sundays, please, Paul.
Indeed. Hi, Scott. How you doing?
Hi, Paul. All good.
Now that Harrison Reed's back, I'm wondering whether or not there's room for both him and Anguissa and Lamina in the same team. They're very similar players, and I guess 3 into 2 won't go.
Well, it could do. I think it could do, definitely. But I think, look, if there's one area of the pitch that we're very good on numbers and got good quality is midfield, and got a lot of numbers at centre half as well. So it's down to me to try and pick the best combinations for certain games to what I feel is going to be the best combination to win games, really. So fighting each other, good competition there, and you know the three players you mentioned, along with Kearney as well, there is good competition. So yeah, I mean, we'll see over the coming weeks how it all pans out.
A number of goals have come from Fulham's right, 6 I think so far, if I've counted them properly. It's a vulnerable area, but I wondered if that was down to the changes that were forced on you at right back, Kenny Anderson, so on and so forth. Is it a vulnerable area? I wondered what you were going to do about it.
I think, like anything, we've brought players in to try and help us. I wouldn't say it was just right. I know you bring the number of 6 out of the goals, but I think overall, you know, since the start of the season and before the start of the season, I think we all understood where we need to improve or where we need to get better. And certainly now we're in the season, that's still the case. And them improvements only happen now on the training field. So we've got players in the building, and now we're working with these players. We need to work to improve. These players are going to need to come with a mindset that, you know what, I need to get better, I need to improve. This league's a fast league, it's a quick one. Things are happening much quicker at a quicker pace than what they have ever happened for probably large parts of these players because they've not played in this league. So yeah, we'll keep working on that.
Just one final from me. You've mentioned it already about working hard to make the progress. In fact, you made the analogy last week of GCSE to A-level maths, if you remember. Yeah. What specifically have you, I mean, you've worked hard, of course, but what specifically have you done to actually make that step?
In terms of training, the detail?
Yes, you know, routines or ideas or something which sharpens everybody or whatever it took. I just wondered if there was an example of something you've done particularly to make that leap. Just the
detail in our work. Just obviously, there's certain niche things we do. I won't disclose them with you. But if you watch our games, I'm sure you'll be able to see certain things. But just the detail in the work of what we're giving these players. In the sense of you watch after a Saturday's game and you've conceded goals, going over it in real detail with real detail and then rehearsing it on the training pitch. Okay, this is happening. How are we going to deal with this problem as unit, as a back four unit, as a back four and midfield two, constantly drilling is the main drive, because that's the only way. Certainly over the course of my career. And now as a coach, I believe you get better, is by constantly just nailing, going over the same things, being very repetitive in the work you do. Hopefully gets improvement. Now, is it going to improve after 2 days, 1 week, 2 weeks, 2 months? Yeah, I think there will be, for sure there will be. But again, I go back to the point that determines on the capabilities of one person's mind, how much they want to do it, how much are they scared of that moment, are they scared of this, that they don't want to face up to that. But that's not just in football, that's just like anything. You normally find the most successful people are the ones what first and foremost put their hand up and say, you know what, I need to improve here. And they're not shy about that, they're not embarrassed about that, they're not embarrassed about putting their hand up and saying, I need to get better here. And if you have that attitude and you can adopt that attitude, and to be fair, the large part of my squad do have that, then no doubt we'll get better, for sure we will.
Just I know time's again, just a quick one. Is it now time to maybe, you mentioned him earlier, is it now time to maybe bring a partner alongside Mitro to obviously help him out up there?
I don't know. You obviously bring a partner up to Mitro, you go light somewhere else on the pitch. You need to work out what's more important to us as a team. Is it being a bit more solid, not conceding goals, so that means you have an extra body somewhere else on the pitch, i.e. at the back or in midfield, or you want to go and take teams on in this division with obviously trying to outscore teams or stuff like that. So certainly, of course, it's always something in my mind where you're trying to work things out. But again, you look at the numbers from the league in terms of where we sit for a large part of them, and of course, while the points ain't great, in 1 point, yeah, I feel like we're on the right track.
Thank you. Good luck. Thank
Cheers,
you.
Paul. Thank you.